Gengar is a non-linear character. Its ultimate goal is to get into burst mode, which is a win condition on its own. No character in the game can stand up to burst Gengar. But aside from that, it can play extremely lame in either phase, or it can pressure non-stop while also phasing through the opponent's attempts to strike back. I think Gengar is the most advanced character in the game from its strategy and its execution barrier. So this guide will be a bit different than the others. Instead of telling you a specific game plan like what you're supposed to do as Gengar, I'm just going to be talking about some of its best moves and movement options and showing how some of its combos work and let you come to a conclusion of how you should use those individual tools. Now the first thing I want to talk about is Gengar's ghost movement. So it has a lot of the standard ghost movement, but also has some other things that can phase through moves also. So let's just start off with the forward dash and field phase. This is invincible from frame 5 to 24. Back dash 1 to 18. Side dash is 5 to 42, which is pretty long. Dual phase, forward dash invincible frame 5 to 22. And backdash 1 to 22. The entire motion of the dual phase backdash is actually 41 frames. So you can actually punish that if you're looking specifically for it. But this is going to go through a lot of meaty attacks. It also has other moves like 8x and 6x that have invincibility frames. And it also has permeate, which you can press R. And it looks like, oh, this is not very useful, but you can act out of this and do like a jumping Y, and you can just completely blow up attempts to anti-air you like 8Ys. Now let's go for the top 5 moves in field phase. The first move we have is homing attack. Let me demonstrate why this is such a good move. What kind of like obnoxious nonsense is that though? Gengar just casually strolls through some of Shadow Mewtwo's best moves in field phase, but it's not just Shadow Mewtwo, this is all the characters. Homing attack has a 25 frame startup, minus 8 on block alone, but it is invincible against highs and mid-highs starting frame 1. It's a 2-hit homing attack and it's hit confirmable on that first hit. This move forces opponents to start throwing out higher priority projectiles against you, and the higher priority projectiles, they have a lot more startup and they can get hit by Shadow Punch while they're doing that. The Shadow Punch is done with back A. This is plus 2 on block if you charge it, plus 12 on block. Also, this pierces if it's fully charged. So if opponents are trying to CADC, they'll get hit. Also, if they're trying to like sidestep, they'll get hit. Pretty strong move, specifically for stopping those higher startup projectiles. And if it wasn't good enough at stopping projectiles, Charged Shadow Ball is amazing. It absorbs a ton of them. Shadow Ball by itself doesn't track, so it's not too good, but if you charge it, it's amazing. Just absorbing all that, and I can just chill out. Force the opponent to approach, because Gengar has that homing attack that goes under projectiles. It has the fully charged Shadow Ball that erases the projectiles, and then if they're doing moves that have too much startup, it has Shadow Punch, which will shift instantly if you're closer to the opponent. Like that. Some attacks from like the actual max distance of field phase, they don't shift because the field phase, the dual phase would be too big. The one issue with this move is that it has a little bit of a startup so that opponents, if they're close enough, they can like forward Y through it. But this part that's right in front of Gengar, that can actually absorb some projectiles as well. Next we have Jumping Y and Charge Jump Y, which can be charged to multiple levels. This homes in on the opponent, locks them down into a position where they might get mixed up. So when your opponent is using a counterattack and you're doing the flurries into it, you can cancel the flurries into jump. And it can also be canceled into R to avoid the opponent. It really destroys counterattacks. It's safe against all the counterattacks in the game. Well, Suicune's command counter is a little bit different. It also is very good in combos. I'm going to show more about that in dual phase, but in field phase, if you do it, it just shifts instantly anyway, so it's not, not too much to that. Gengar can really keep out in field or can pressure with that move in combination with this, which is the Astonish cancel, which I'll go ahead and talk more about that in dual phase. Also, Gengar has side Y and neutral Y. These are also good for locking the opponents into place. From far away, neutral Y can cover your approach, and then you can even mix the opponent up with hypnosis. It really allows you to get close to the opponent and pressure them without too much commitment. Because even if they're able to tech the grab, still get hit. And in burst, they just get absolutely obnoxious and the opponent can't escape. And we'll talk more about this when I'm in burst. Top 5 moves in dual phase. Jump Y is number 1. This is extremely hard to anti-air because of how fast it starts up. And you can do permeate into it like I showed before. And you'll be able to blow up anti-air attempts against it. This is way better against taller characters, but it still works on short characters. And you can confirm into jumping A, which is Astonish. This is going to be a pretty good poking tool from far away. If you're close up, this is actually like minus 12 or so on block. Actually, let me see exactly. Yeah, you can grab that. So if you're fighting against a Gengar that's doing that point blank against you, grab that point blank. Or do like a 2Y or something that you have that's fast. Because a lot of people don't actually realize that you can punish that. Because a friend is not in the document itself. But from farther out, of course, you're not going to be able to punish it. Now, here's why I'm going to talk a little bit about how the combos work. Astonish is done with jumping A. If you let it go, Gengar will do this face that comes out of the ground into this dive kick. But what you're going to be wanting to do is cancel this. So if you press the cancel early, then you just stop the animation completely. If you press it too late, then you'll go through with the entire attack. But if you press it just on time, right when you see the face about to come out of the ground, or right when you see the shadow, then you'll cancel it and the face will still come up. This is how you do a lot of Gengar's combos. You cancel it with R. So for example, I could do jump A, R, and the opponent would still be floating, but I already have recovered. So then I'd want to do a jumping Y after that and cancel that jumping Y into a jumping A. So I'd do something like this. So that's how you would start that combo. Now I'm going to show you how to be a little bit more efficient with that combo. Actually, let's just go ahead and do it right now. Okay, if you jump into 4A, it goes towards you. 6A, it goes more towards the opponent. And then just 5A will go like in the middle. So, let me demonstrate how to make this combo work. First of all, let me just give a disclaimer. I'm playing on an arcade stick. At TPCI events specifically, they don't want you to play on an arcade stick. So I'm not going to show this on camera in case you're one of those players that wants to play at one of those. During these combos, you're going to need to be holding release X. So I'll show you exactly when I start holding it. So there's 3 main steps to getting Gengar's combos right. The first one is being able to properly cancel Astonish. So that's the first thing. Once you see the shadow on the ground, that's when you should press R. Don't press it before, don't press it after, it'll come out late. Press it right when you actually see the shadow on the ground. The second thing is edge Astonish. So you want to be doing, for most characters in most combos, you're going to want to do the Astonish forward, so 6A. So I'll do this just normal at first. But after I hit with this one, jump Y, and I want to do forward. If I do it normally, they hit on the ground and it does more hits and it does more phase shift points if you hit with that extra hit. So you only want that first hit so that you can make this combo longer. And then this is kind of more character specific. You want to make sure you're timing that last hit. That second Astonish, that one is very character specific. Some characters you need to do it really early. Some characters you need to let them fall. It's because characters float in the air a little bit differently. Actually, I lied. There's a fourth thing. The fourth thing is holding X in the middle of the combo. As soon as I pressed Y, that's when I started holding X. And that lets me do release X in this combo. So, if you do the whole combo properly, it'll look something like this. And then you can press R after release X is done. When you do release X at the end of it, it'll give you some synergy. but that animation has a lot of recovery. So what you can do is you can press R after it. You'll still get the synergy, but you won't be in that animation. So that's the basics of how Gengar's Astonish combos work. Those are extremely important. You can finish them different ways, but those are what you're going to be getting from straight hits from Jump Y. And a lot of times I'm like, hey, you shouldn't be jumping all over the screen. But Gengar, like, what are they going to do? Is any character really actually equipped to stop this? Like, not really. Release X has the same general function as it did in Field Phase. You can combo from this. Now, against short characters, it's not as broken as it is on tall characters. Let me show you like a confirm off of a tall character. Really good, really safe. And then we have 5A, which is Shadow Ball, pretty much the exact same purpose again, and used in combination with Shadow Punch to stop slower startup projectiles. And then we have 5X and 6X, and I really want to talk a bit about these moves because yeah, they're pretty good. They can go through some moves and stuff like that, but mostly I want to talk about this because this is one of the biggest differences between playing online and offline. This move is one of the single best moves online. And the reason is because this move has some invincibility. So a lot of players wake up with it and they get away with it. But if you actually look at the frame data, it only has invincible from frame 5 to 21, meaning the first 5 frames it can be done backwards, normally, and forward. It doesn't have any invincibility, so you can get straight up get hit by this. By the way, if you charge this, it is invincible from frame 5 to 25 and it pierces. But it's very hard to time your meaties with the amount of input delay that's in Pokken's online because they use an input delay netcode. Offline, this move, yeah, it works, but it's not really a thing on Wake Up. Backdash is a good option, but 5X is not going to actually beat meaty attacks. That being said, it is a pretty good preemptive move on the ground. If your opponent has like Rotom or something like that, it actually cancels into Shadow Punch and you can do some super powerful combos at the wall with this. Let me demonstrate. Now for this combo specifically, I'm going to abuse or utilize the Pokkén combo in Jump X. So if you do Jump X and then you press it again, it will do this Astonish. The difference is that it will always angle it like right where it can combo. If I wanted to manually press A, then I lose my X charge while I'm doing that. So by pressing X twice, I can press R and still have my X charge immediately. Anyway, onto the combo. And I don't have this on the top 5 list for either phase. I just think that it's a great move and it could be a top 5 move on either phase, but I wasn't sure what to take off the slot. So let's talk about Hypnosis really quickly. You can cancel this with R, and it is a command grab that also can lead to a full combo. So if you want to, what most players do is they just grab because this will steal some synergy and it does a good amount of damage. But you can also lead into combos like from this into whatever you want. There's just a ton of combo potential from that move. And it has invincibility from frame 5 to 18. It is 27 frames startup, so a little bit beyond the border of people's reaction time. But people were getting grabbed by this a lot at the World Championships. And I still get grabbed by it a lot, albeit online. So that was the basic game plan for Gengar. But this is an advanced character. There are a lot of other things to consider like pressure and Oki setups. There are a lot of setups that Gengar has that are very dangerous, especially because of things like this. When you grab, the Shadow Ball goes away, so you have some really powerful 50-50s. Hypnosis is even better because it has some invincibility and it has a longer range. Also, when you're in Burst, it's the same kind of thing, except while you have this out, you have a grab that goes from super far away, so the opponent's just like kind of stuck there. Let me talk a bit about why Burst Gengar is broken besides just that. So this move, forward Y, it goes the entire screen. It goes like it doesn't have a 360-degree hitbox exactly, but it will track the opponent no matter where they go all around in a 360. That pierces. You already saw how amazing the super was, the grab. This move is pretty strong. People are going to be jumping out of this once they know that they can actually avoid this. So this which is down X, which is really strong. You have 8X, which can get you out of pressure depending on what angle you do it at. You have this jab pressure that can poke through counterattacks no problem, and even cancel into super if you want to. Field phase, if you start throwing this stuff out, what are opponents really gonna do? If once you have one of these out, like, and they super, it's just like, it's a game. If they try to jump you forward, Y them. Side Y is extremely impressive. The burst duration is really long. You can't really see it right here because I have it on infinite. If opponents are just randomly jumping, this charge 8Y or just 8Y can lead to combos. It's almost impossible to lock down Gengar because of this 8X. It can just go wherever it wants to. Hypnosis, of course, leads to either super or whatever you want. I'm going to link the grand finals of the Pokemon World Championship so you can see just how powerful Burst Gengar is. Pretty much once Burst Gengar is out, the other player lost. This is really a win condition that should be considered. If you can get Burst Gengar in round 3, or if you get it whenever you're at set point, pretty much won that round right there. As long as you can get real control over Mega Gengar, it's the best character in the game free. But it takes a long time to get that synergy meter, and you only have 510 HP. It's going to take a lot of craftiness, landing Hypnosis to get some of the synergy back, landing Grabs to get that synergy, and winning Field Phase. That's it for Gengar's general strategy in Field Phase, Dual Phase, and its top 5 moves in Field Phase and top 5 moves in Dual Phase. A little bit about Burst Mode. If you want to see all the rest of my character guides, I have links to them in the description. See you in the next vid.